It started with a craving I couldn't quite put into words. It wasn't about food or shopping or some passing desire. It ran deeper than that. Emotional, psychological. It had been growing inside me for years, tucked beneath the surface of what looked like a picture-perfect life. I'm Olivia Turner. I'm 34, married to Ryan, a good man, and we live just outside of Denver in a quiet suburb. Our life looked ideal from the outside. A beautiful home, a golden retriever, a garden in the backyard. But none of it filled the empty space that had been slowly expanding inside me. Ryan worked as a software engineer. Long hours, frequent trips, and a mind always lost in logic and lines of code. I had a flexible part-time job as a home decor consultant, something that let me stay balanced while managing everything else at home. Somewhere along the way, our conversations dwindled. We only talked about the basics: groceries, bills, if the car needed a tune-up. We hadn't been intimate in weeks, and I couldn't even remember the last time I felt seen. Ryan was kind, reliable, but I felt more alone with him than I ever had by myself. I didn't set out to change anything. I wasn't looking for chaos. And then I met Noah. He was a friend of my brother-in-law's and showed up one day for a backyard cookout. I noticed right away how he looked at people, like he could read them. He wasn't conventionally attractive, but there was a quiet confidence about him, a grounded warmth. When we finally spoke, he said something that stuck with me. "You're the type who notices everything and says nothing, aren't you?" He was right. I had always observed too much and spoken too little, afraid of making others uncomfortable. But somehow Noah made silence feel okay, safe even. We started texting a few days later, harmless at first, a meme here, a joke there. Then it turned into deeper conversations, late-night confessions. It felt raw and comforting, like slipping into a hot bath after a long, cold day. I kept telling myself it was just a connection, a friend. But deep down, I knew I was falling, and surprisingly, I didn't feel guilty. I felt alive. One night while Ryan was out of town, Noah came over. He didn't rush anything. We just sat on the couch, barely touching. When he kissed me, it wasn't lust. It felt sacred, like he was asking permission from my soul, and I gave it, fully. After that night, I thought I'd feel whole. I thought Noah would fill the ache I'd carried for so long. But even with him, the craving lingered. I realized it wasn't just about touch or connection. I needed more. More presence. More understanding. More voices to echo back what I couldn't say aloud. That's when I met Elias. He was an art teacher at the community center where I hosted design workshops. Elias was gentle, poetic, and moved like someone who was always dancing, even without music. We talked about loss, literature, the kind of beauty that lives in silence. He wasn't like Ryan. He wasn't like Noah. And still, he made something in me stir, something I thought had gone quiet years ago. I didn't plan to let Elias in either, but he saw through me the same way Noah had. He noticed my overly polite smiles, my half laughs. One night after a gallery event, we sat parked outside my house. I expected a move. Instead, he just said, "You don't need to pretend with me." That was it. I kissed him, and for a moment, everything inside me went still. Now I was tangled in something I couldn't explain, not even to myself. This wasn't about cheating out of boredom or chasing a thrill. I just couldn't find everything I needed in one person. Ryan gave me stability. Noah offered emotional depth. Elias brought empathy. I needed all of it, and maybe that made me selfish. But for a while, it made me feel whole. Of course, secrets don't stay secrets forever. One afternoon, Ryan came home early from a work trip. I was out with Elias, and I didn't realize Noah had left his hoodie in the trunk the night before. Ryan found it. When I got home, he was sitting on the couch, holding it, staring into space. He didn't yell. He just asked, "Who is he?" I froze. My mind scrambled for a lie, but none came. Instead, I sat across from him and whispered, "There's more than one." He didn't flinch, just blinked slowly, then said, "I knew something was off. I just never imagined this." We talked, for hours. I told him everything, about the loneliness, about Noah, about Elias, about how I had slowly disappeared in our marriage and didn't even notice until someone else saw me. He didn't interrupt. He listened. And when I finished, he said something I'll never forget. You didn't cheat because you're a bad person. You cheated because you were starving, and I didn't see it. We tried to make it work. Therapy, date nights, weekend getaways. For a while, it helped. But eventually, we both realized something painful. Love isn't always enough. Ryan loved me, but he couldn't give me what I needed.